The United States' decision to impose stricter regulations on China's semiconductor sector was more than just a policy shift, it was a bold move to assert dominance. By cutting off access to cutting-edge chip technology, Washington aimed to limit China's technological growth, citing security concerns over potential military applications. However, rather than stalling progress, these restrictions set off a global race for leadership in the semiconductor industry, reshaping supply chains and intensifying competition in ways few had foreseen. Semiconductors serve as the foundation of modern digital infrastructure, powering everything from smartphones to advanced artificial intelligence. By limiting China's ability to procure state-of-the-art chip designs, the U.S. sought to dictate the pace of its technological evolution. Yet, this strategy triggered an unexpected reaction. Instead of slowing down, China accelerated efforts to achieve self-reliance, channeling vast resources into domestic production and transforming what was once a major vulnerability into an opportunity for rapid advancement. In 2021, China's semiconductor imports reached an astonishing $432 billion, underscoring its dependence on external suppliers. By 2023, this figure had dropped significantly to around $230 billion, marking a sharp reduction of nearly $200 billion. But this wasn't merely a shift in trade numbers, it signaled a deeper transformation. Determined to secure its future in the global tech race, China aggressively pursued independence, pouring immense capital into research, chip fabrication, and technological innovation. Major domestic manufacturers, including key industry players, expanded operations and minimized reliance on Western technology. Reports indicated a notable surge in China's capability to produce advanced chips, further solidifying its drive towards self-sufficiency. The impact of this shift extended far beyond regional markets. Industries that once relied heavily on American and European semiconductor giants found themselves reconsidering their supply chain strategies. The fundamental question now is whether this transformation will redefine international competition or lead to a fragmented world where different regions operate within separate technological ecosystems. Initially, many assumed that U.S. sanctions would stifle China's ability to innovate. However, reality painted a different picture. A striking example came in 2023 when a major Chinese tech company made an unexpected comeback with a flagship smartphone powered by a domestically developed 7nm processor. This development stunned analysts who had previously dismissed China's ambitions as overly optimistic. The company's ability to produce next-generation networking equipment entirely from local components was a clear sign that it was not merely adjusting to restrictions, but leveraging them to fuel greater independence. Rather than serving as a blockade, trade limitations have ignited a surge in Chinese firms developing alternative technological solutions. The country's 5G infrastructure, now manufactured without reliance on foreign components, plays a crucial role in national projects, demonstrating how imposed restrictions have been turned into strategic advantages. As a result, consumers in China are benefiting from increasingly affordable 5G-enabled devices, while international markets face rising competition from a growing number of domestic semiconductor manufacturers. A report released in late 2023 highlighted how China's rapid progress in chip production has driven advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, and autonomous transportation. The long-standing belief that Western technology firms exclusively led cutting-edge innovation is now being challenged. One of China's most prominent semiconductor firms has made remarkable progress in developing smaller, more efficient chips, positioning the country as a formidable force in the global industry. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the semiconductor sector is feeling the consequences of these shifts. Financial reports from leading American chipmakers reflected a significant decline in revenue due to decreasing sales in China. One major company reported a 27% drop in sales to the Chinese market during the third quarter of 2023 compared to the previous year. Another key player specializing in analog semiconductors faced a revenue shortfall of $2.3 billion due to reduced demand from Chinese buyers. The financial impact extends beyond individual corporations. For years, major U.S. semiconductor firms relied on China for up to 30% of their total revenue. As demand from Chinese businesses declines, concerns are growing about the unintended economic consequences of these trade policies. While the primary objective was to hinder China's rise in technology, the actual outcome has been an intensified effort toward domestic production. In 2020, China accounted for approximately 15% of the world's semiconductor manufacturing. By 2023, that number had nearly doubled to 30%, a dramatic increase driven by substantial state investments and strategic partnerships with other nations. More than 50 new semiconductor fabrication facilities have been established in China in just 2 years, reshaping the competitive landscape for established industry leaders in Taiwan and South Korea. The growing presence of domestically produced chips is already influencing global pricing, making advanced technology more accessible while forcing established companies to rethink their strategies. Even South Korea, long a dominant force in the semiconductor market, is feeling the effects of China's advancements. Samsung's semiconductor division recorded a 12% revenue decline in the third quarter of 2023, while another major South Korean chip manufacturer faced its most significant profit drop since 2017. These shifts are compelling businesses to explore new approaches to maintain their competitive edge. China's expanding influence extends beyond chip production alone. Domestically developed processors are now being deployed in critical sectors, including cloud computing, telecommunications, and artificial intelligence. By 2023, over 60% of China's cloud computing industry was powered by homegrown technology, significantly reducing reliance on foreign providers while strengthening national security. This transition has also led to cost reductions for businesses and consumers, making advanced digital services more affordable within domestic markets. As global supply chains adjust to these changes, some international firms are grappling with shortages and price fluctuations resulting from reduced imports from China. However, Chinese semiconductor companies continue making strides in advanced chip technologies. One of the country's leading manufacturers has successfully developed 7-nanometer chips, while breakthroughs in memory storage technology have set new performance standards. These achievements highlight that China is not merely catching up, it is actively reshaping the industry's direction. This rapid transformation is putting pressure on long-standing industry giants. Major players in the semiconductor space, including firms in the US and Taiwan, are now rethinking their long-term market strategies in response to China's growing presence. In an attempt to counterbalance these shifts, the US has ramped up efforts to strengthen its own semiconductor production, deepen alliances, and encourage greater private sector investments. However, whether these measures will be enough to maintain a technological edge remains uncertain. China, on the other hand, is pouring unprecedented amounts into research and development. In 2023 alone, government spending on semiconductor innovation exceeded $20 billion, fostering a competitive mindset that has led to significant breakthroughs. With Chinese firms accounting for nearly 40% of global chip demand, the country holds substantial influence over international suppliers. Businesses must now carefully weigh the risks of aligning with US regulations at the expense of financial losses or finding ways to maintain ties with the world's largest semiconductor market. China's rapid semiconductor expansion is reshaping global trade and altering geopolitical strategies. By reducing its dependence on external sources, the country has strengthened its position in international negotiations. Some analysts view this shift as a turning point that is transforming global economic policies and trade relationships. However, challenges remain, including technological bottlenecks, market pressures, and evolving regulations that could present new hurdles. The ongoing competition over semiconductor technology underscores the complexities of using innovation as a geopolitical tool. While the initial objective was to limit China's technological rise, the reality has been an era of intensified rivalry. As industries continue adjusting to this evolving landscape, the key question remains whether global cooperation can emerge from this divide, or if the competition will continue escalating, shaping the future of technology and commerce in unpredictable ways.